Recognize God, the one that created all this. That's what he's saying. That's what Paul said in Romans, I think Romans 2. He said, man is without excuse. It's from the creation of the world, God's fingerprint and footprint. You know there's a God here. Man's without excuse. This ain't no random. This is chaos and order out of it. No, it's a creator involved. We're just looking around. It's self-evident. It's axiomatic. And you need to recognize it. And all his works go on thus from year to year, from ever in his task which they accomplish him. And behold, the sea and the rivers in like manner accomplish and change not their task from his commandments. Read that again. And all his works go on thus from year to year, forever. And all the tasks which they accomplish for him. And their tasks change not, but according as God hath ordained, so it is done. And behold how the sea and the rivers in like manner accomplish and change not their tasks from his commandments. But ye have not been steadfast. God's been steadfast. God's faithful. Even in his creation you see his faithfulness. The Bible said the rain rains on the just and unjust alike. Even the evildoers, even the people that worship the devil. God is still kind, allows sun and rain to share his sun and rain with them. But ye have not been steadfast, nor done the commandments of the Lord. But ye have turned away and spoken proud and hard words with your impure mouths against his greatness. O ye hard-hearted, ye shall find no peace. God's going to have the last word. Therefore shall ye execrate your days, and your years of your life shall perish, and the years of your destruction shall be multiplied in eternal execration, and ye shall find no mercy. In those days ye shall make your names an eternal execration unto all the righteous. And by you shall all who curse, and all the sinners and godless shall imprecate by you. And for you the godless shall be a curse. And all shall rejoice, and there shall be forgiveness of sins, and every mercy and peace and forbearance. There shall be salvation unto them, a goodly light, for all of you sinners there shall be no salvation, but on you shall abide a curse. But for the elect there shall be light and grace and peace, and they shall inherit the earth. Ain't that what Jesus said? The meek shall inherit the earth. The tamed of God shall inherit the earth. And there shall be bestowed upon the elect wisdom, and they shall all live and never again sin. God's going to give us, well, He gives us the deposit of the Spirit that knows no sin. You just got two natures in you warned now, but it's going to come a time when He give us a new body, and we're out of this sinning body, and we'll know no more sin. And they shall all live and never live in sin, neither through ungodliness or through pride. But they who are wise shall be humble, and they shall not again transgress, nor shall they sin all the days of their life, nor shall they die of the divine anger of wrath. But they shall complete the number of days of their life, and their lives shall be increased in peace. And in the years of their joy shall be multiplied in eternal gladness and peace, all the days of their life. Going to live eternal. That's what the Bible said. Jesus made it clear. Be resurrected with Him. We'll shine as the sun in its strength. Okay, now we're going to get into the fall of the angels. And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied in those days, And it came to pass, this is verse chapter 6, chapter 16, 11, verse 6. And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said one to another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. Now let's just see, or remember, they took the book of Enoch out because this was their main thing. So we can go ahead and dispel what they said, that this did not correlate with the scripture. It absolutely matches up. Let's turn to Genesis. I think it's Genesis 6. Hold on a minute. I'm going to prove to you that it lines up perfectly. It doesn't conflict with Genesis at all. Genesis 6. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God, now they said angels right here, but sons of God are angels. This says sons of God. But I'm going to prove to you that the sons of God are angels in a minute. They could have used angels. That the sons of God, this could be that preconceived, what I was trying to tell you. So to let the scripture speak for itself. That the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and that they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. And there were giants in those days. So, the Bible's telling you there that these sons of God, and I'll show you, prove to you that the sons of God are angels. Turn to Job, I believe it's Job chapter 2. See, this King James could have easily said angels, but like I said, they had this notion that which Jesus said you had different orders of angels. You had seraphim, you had cherubim, you had the watchers, you had angels with wings, angels without. Obviously, these angels could have sex with women. But they quoted Jesus where it said that it will be as the angels not having sex. So that conflicted. So they watered it down to the sons of men. No, it's just a different order of angel that could have sex with women and produce hybrids or monstrous freaks in front of giants. All right, we're going to turn to Job. See, you just getting a taste of what I just read earlier about people who have their subjective viewpoint. And God couldn't really mean that. He couldn't really mean that angels are having sex with humans. You know, so we're going to go ahead and confuse people so when they see, you know, son of man, or sons of God, Jesus is called the Son of God in one chapter. You know, the Bible then you refer to as a son of man in there. But he's the Messiah. You see how things can get misconstrued. He has many different, you know, you can't limit God on his titles. And this is just one example, but I can give you many more examples of where the book of Enoch lines up perfect with the Bible. There's really the only confusion is with man and his traditions. Okay, Job chapter 2. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. See, they call sons of God here. These are angels. And Satan came also among them to present themselves before the Lord. And the Lord said unto Satan, So I just wanted to prove that right there. You got to see the prosecuting attorney among the sons of God, and they were making a petition to God in heaven. And they were called sons of God, not angels. But there are angels. They're still angels. So that lines up perfectly with the Bible. Just wanted to show you, lines up perfect with Genesis. And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels and the children of heaven saw and lusted after them, and said one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. See, this is just more detailed than Genesis. Genesis just briefly touched on it and moved on. This is going to paint you a broader picture of what really was going on. Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and begat us children. And Samjijah, who was their leader, said also unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed. Oh, we got to be like the Three Musketeers here. You know, it's like a gang thing. All for one, one for all. Man, let me take this rap by myself. It's like bank robbers. We go rob a bank. Even the driver, everybody. Nobody breaks rank. We go down together. We come up together. What they saying here? It's like a gang of angels, bad angels here. And the angels and the children of heaven saw and lusted after them. Now, these angels, I believe, were the ones that built the Great Pyramid of Giza. Enoch's name means artificer in stone. Enoch was the foreman over these angels. These watchers that came down. The technology, companies like Beckman Industry couldn't do it, duplicate it today. They're scratching their head how it was done. All these blocks of stone weighing 30 tons in some cases cut with the precision of modern optical instruments. Space age glue that only we just now coming around to even beginning to understand with the space shuttle. The glue that's on there, the glue that tiles on the space shuttle. They had glue that was so powerful that when you tried to take off the casings that was covering the stone, it even took off some of the stone, ripped the stone off. It was glued so tight, and with such precision. And this Great Pyramid is a geometrical, it's God's message in stone. God wrote his message in the heavens. That's why he said man's without excuse. Get E. Raymond's Cap. E. Raymond Cap book. The Pyramid Decoded. Read about the Great Pyramid in Isaiah 19:19. This is God's message in stone. That's why Paul said man's without excuse. He wrote his message in the heavens. Satan perverted that. That was God's astronomy. The Great Pyramid you had, also these angels built the Sphinx as well, with the head of the woman and the body of the lion, showing that you start with Virgo, the virgin, symbol of the virgin birth, Mary, and you end it with Leo the lion. Christ returning. It's a lion from the tribe of Judah to execute his judgment on earth. And in between that, you had a storybook in the heavens. 12 constellations and 3 accompanying little storybooks that went into stars, telling you about the coming Redeemer. And the world history already mapped out in storybook fashion in the stars. The ancients knew this. That's why Paul said, the heavens reveal God's glory in Romans 2. He told the story of salvation in the stars. He told in the history, preordained. He told it in the Great Pyramid. Satan perverted that. And got people, instead of God's witness in stone, it became pyramidology. He perverted that. He perverted the Word of God with the traditions of men to make void the Word of God. That God intended for revelation to man. So you got three bearing witness, all been perverted by the perverse one, is one of his names in the ancient language, the perverse one, the devil himself, author of confusion. And it came to pass, the children of Molokai read, come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And Samjai, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall pay the penalty of this great sin. And they all answered him and said, let us swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecation, not to abandon this plan to do this thing. This plot to do evil, and we're going to stick together. They were forbidden by God's law to intermingle with the female species of earth. Then swear they all together and bound themselves by mutual imprecation upon it. And they were all in 200 who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called it Mount Hermon, the cursed mountain. That's where they landed. Now, these beings are being worshipped, so-called Anunnaki. That's these demons, these fallen angels that have set themselves up as a false creator of mankind. And probably will return. It's a possibility. I'm just guessing. Along with Satan and his crew. That's part of Satan's crew. To fool mankind again in the last days. Why not? Begin it as the days of Noah. It shall be the days of some men. Spaceships all over the place. Technology that you wouldn't believe. Easily fool the world into submission. These are your creators. See them in their spaceships? Deception. That's what the devil's good at. He's a deceiver. Could easily see this happen. To get the whole world in allegiance with the Antichrist and the false prophet. Let us swear an oath and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecation, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then they swear all together and bound themselves by mutual imprecation upon it. And they were all 200 who descended in the days of Jared upon Mount Hermon. And they called it Mount Hermon, because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecation upon it. And these are the names of their leaders. Simsazaz, these names are something else. These names sound alien. Simsazaz, their leader. Arakabah, Ramiel, Kokabiel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Daniel, Ezekiel, Barakajel, Azaziel, Amaros, Batarel, Ananel, Zachiel, Samsapiel, Satariel, Teruel, Jamjael, Sariel. My goodness. These are the chiefs of the 10. So these are the gang leaders of the 200. The 10 that's leading the gang, leaders of the pack. And all these together with them took unto themselves wives. I'm not going to say it. I almost said something and it got me in trouble. Sometimes I wish I wasn't on camera. And all the others together with them took themselves wives. I'm sorry. It's one of the crazy thoughts. And each chose for himself one. Now, according to the Apocrypha, these angels were some tall, good-looking angels, and they were well hung. So what woman wouldn't want a tall, Good-looking man as well, huh? And each chose for himself one, and they began to go in unto them. They had sex with them. They each grabbed a wife and started having intercourse with them. And defiled themselves. And they taught them charms. Okay, this is where witchcraft came from. These fallen ones, which they would later become known as, taught men sorcery. We taught it to the females. First witches are right here. Ancient witches. And they taught them charms and enchantments and cutting roots, and made them become pregnant. And they bare great giants whose height was 3,000 years. Some of these giants were 450 feet tall. Now, the myths around the world talks about giants. They found giants around the world, thousands of giants. The Bible said giants, they're giants. Archaeology has proven that. There's been a conspiracy to shut down and snatch by the dark forces that be anybody that finds a giant. They hurry up and move in, scrub the place, shut it down. Nothing to see here. Move along, keep it moving. Because they don't want to show that God was right. Anything to prove up God's word, they want to hush. Because it might create some faith in people that need something tangible to believe in God's word. But it's enough out there. You can go on the internet, enough proof and pictures of the giants. Giant bones, giant skeletons everywhere around the world. A lot found in the United States. Grand Canyon area, all over the place. East Coast. Giants. The Bible said giants. The world was infested with them at this time. They were like locusts. Now this is their offspring. They produced these monsters. And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants, whose height was 300 years, who consumed all the acquisitions of men. They was eating up everything, all the food, crops, food source, cattle. They had a rapacious appetite. They wouldn't quit. They were greedy. The giants turned against them and devoured mankind. They said, well, you can't provide no more food for us and you're not providing fast enough. We'll eat you. So the giants began to devour men. That's cannibalism was introduced into the world. The giants turned against them and devoured mankind, and they began to sin against the birds and beasts and reptiles and fish. Genetic crossbreeding. Genetic experimentation, where they created monsters out of God's nature. Where you had satyrs, half man, half golden. You had centaurs, half man, half horse. Freaky monsters, gargoyles. Possibility. So-called Tyrannosaurus Rexes, and it's a possibility. It's theory on that. Stegosaurus, Tyrannosaurus. Monsters. Genetic experimentation. Nothing new under the sun. Man is doing that right now. The giants turned against them and devoured mankind, and they began to sin against birds. The Bible made it clear that you're going to see some things that are going to be frightening in the last day. I bet you this is going to be part of it here. The Bible said, Jesus said clearly, it's in the days of Noah. This is what was going on in the days of Noah. I wouldn't be surprised giants return, monsters return, terrifying mankind, eating mankind. The giants turned against them and devoured mankind, and they began to sin against birds and beasts, reptiles, fish, and devour one another's flesh, and drink the blood. Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones. The giants were the lawless ones. And Azazel taught men to make swords, and knives, and shields, and breastplates. Want to know what an art of war was being taught? This fallen angel right here. And Azazel taught men to make swords, and knives, and shields, and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth. He introduced them to metallurgy, and the art of working them. Taught them how to use a smelting pot. How to beat metal and how to mold it. And the art of working them. And bracelets and ornaments. Don't know where you get your jewelry from, ladies? Bracelets and ornaments. And the use of anatomy. And the beautifying of the eyelids. Makeup. These fallen angels taught you, ladies, how to put on makeup. And how to adorn yourselves with jewels and ornaments. Cosmetic jewelry. All kinds of costly stones and all color of tinctures. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication. The word fornication comes from the word porneia in the Greek. Pornos. That's where we get the word pornography. So this was abnormal sex. Homosexuality is included. Bestiality is included. And sex with animals. Sex, same sex. That's where this word comes from. Orgies. They committed fornication, and they were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways. Samshijah taught enchantments and root cuttings. Amaros, the resolving of enchantments. I mean, they had a whole witchcraft school going here. Barjah, Deuteronomy 18, God forbade his people to practice any of these forbidden arts. And now you know why they're forbidden. And who taught them? Fallen angels. Taught astrology. Like I said, astronomy is God. Astrology of the devil. Satan is called, what is his name? It's called the perverse one. Perverted everything. That means the root meaning of the word is to put that which goes in front behind, and that which goes behind in front is what perverse means. Pervert. Got a lot of perverts running around today, making it seem like it's the norm. Harming, sexually assaulting little children, animals. Well, there's nothing new. It's a rise of all that. Going on right now, just like the days of Noah. Such as the days of the Son of Man. It's going on right now. Ritualistic sacrifice of children. This is what was going on there. Killing the children. Eating their flesh. What's going on? Drinking their blood. Cannibalism. I've said it before in different videos. The word cannibal comes from Kani, priest of Baal. Baal worship. Kani Baal. That's where we get the word cannibal from. They would sacrifice little children on altars, drink their blood, believing the blood rejuvenated them. It made them pure, made them ageless, and eat their flesh. Cannibal. And Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all the lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. And they said one to another, the earth made without inhabitant to another. The earth made without inhabitant cries the voice of their crying up to the gates of heaven. It says so much death, violence, and carnage going on in the earth, mayhem. It's now reached the gates of heaven. It's getting God's attention. It's like Sodom and Gomorrah, where God said enough. Time to destroy it. God eventually, your evil reached such a height that it's time to wipe you out. And they said one another, the earth made without inhabitant cries the voice of their crying up to the gates of heaven. And now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men make their suit. The dead are petitioning God for justice. It's nothing new. Revelations. This correlates with Revelations. Told you, this book lines up perfectly with the Bible. Where John, I believe in chapter 5 or 6, I think it's 5, the souls were under the altar that was being killed during the tribulation down here for the testimony of Christ. And they were under the altar, the souls crying for justice to the men that took their lives. It parallels this right here, perfect, to a T. And they said one another, the earth without inhabitant and the souls of men make their suit, saying, bring our cause before the Most High. And they said to the Lord of ages, Lord of lords, God of God, King of kings, and the God of ages, the throne of thy glory standeth unto all generations of the ages. Thy name holy and glorious and blessed unto all the ages. Thou hast made all things, and power over all things hast thou. And all things are naked and open unto thy sight. God sees everything. Sees in the hell, the Bible says. Darkness is just like light to him. He is light. Nothing hidden. The Bible says nothing hidden anyway that should not be revealed. Nothing done in secret should not be made wide open. He said, Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, God of ages, the God of glory standeth unto all the generations of ages. Thy name holy and glorious and blessed unto all ages. Thou hast made all things, and have power over all things hast thou. And all things are naked and open unto thy sight, and all things thou seest, and nothing can hide itself from thee. David said, if I make my bed in hell, thou art there. You can't go